Сьогодні ми з вами вивчимо близько 20 фраз для письмової комунікації з клієнтом. Це будуть як те, про що ви говорили, якісь професійні штуки, як почати, як висловлюватися, як не звучати грубо. Це дуже важливо. Розберемо основні помилки в комунікації, do's and don'ts. Особливо зосередимося на тому, щоб не було, це, знаєте, канцеляризмів, тому що це всі не люблять і всі цього намагаються уникнути. Також чатик, як я і сказала, залишаємо відкритий, буде багато практики, тому все, будете писати практику, я буду вам давати фідбек. І в кінці буде невелика така 10-15 хвилин, я зможу відповісти на всі ваші питання. Тому якщо є питання, ви можете їх собі десь занотувати і в кінці всі задати, буду намагатися відповідати на всі. Окей, зараз буду проходити англійською, поставте плюсик, якщо ви готові, і я переходжу на англійську. Супер, клас, всі такі заряджені, готові. Супер. Окей. Okay, so we'll start talking about 5 tactics for effective client communication, and we will start with, with some basic rules, something what you should keep in your mind when start communicating. The first is have an emotional connect with the client. Actually, I'm not going to tell you that you're going to be a therapist for a client, but this emotional connection, this is about the emotional intelligence. And that's important. Here we have some ISO recruiters and HRs. They will tell you a lot about that. And emotional communication, and emotional connection, this is something what you can even use, and show while having this written communication with the client. This is important, and that should be some phrases kind of, I see your point, I understand, then maybe I appreciate what you're doing. This is about emotional communication. And what you should keep in mind here, that you will be self-aware, you should understand how you react to some situation. If you have a problem, how will you respond to that? What's your first reaction? What makes you feel like in a not very good way? That's actually important. And of course, you should remember about the self-management, like how to stay polite even if the client is rude. Because for client it's okay, and for us it's not, unfortunately. So that's really important. And for the second step, this is keep the communication concise, clear, and context-driven. What do I mean here? The main golden rules of the business communication by writing, this is to keep one message per one email. This is important. This is the rule and must. You should follow the rule. If actually you have more than one message in one email, try to just enumerate what you're going to discuss, and only after that, it will turn into discussion. Yes, because this email communications is not just about the chit-chatting. That's important. Yes, and also when you're communicating about some important points as deadlines, the status of the project, maybe some delays and reasons of that, try to avoid such words as almost, perhaps, numerous, because this is something what makes your client not very sure what is going to happen. So you all the time, that's about being clear. All the time try to be specific in your dates, deadlines. Even if you are going to change the deadline, that's important to to say the client beforehand that you're going to change that. Don't wait when a client will text you hi, Kate, how is it going with my project or with the task? You should be the first. You should be first who is texting about that. You should inform the client before they write you. That's important. The tip number 3, keep a check on the tone. You know, you may like feel surprised. What does tone mean if we're talking about the written communication? And that's actually a good question. The tone in writing, yeah, while you're writing some emails, this is about the language what you use. This is about the grammar what you use. Students are not usually willing to learn some grammar parts, but grammar, that's something what can express more with little words. Yeah, that's important because some grammar tells itself without some big explanation or something. If you use, for example, imperative mood, like please let me know, or please check my like blah 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 point, yeah, that will sound impolite. In that way, it's usually better to start with some kind of question or use some appropriate language. Today we're going to talk about this. If you use a lot of you know, if you write in a very short sentences and write them very often, that can make your tone a bit harsh, and for client, a client may think that you are disrespectful, and that's actually also not very okay. So try to avoid that. Number 4, use subordination appropriately. Here, you should all the time, as we actually talked in tip number 2, keep in mind the context, the subordination. What is the person from the another side? That actually can be client themselves, and that can be manager, that can be technical specialist. And related to this context, you should know what language to use, how to play with the language, yes. In written communication, when you want to emphasize something, use some clues or use the color if it's possible. That's actually like how to save client time. As for grammar, when you want to emphasize some important ideas, try to use active forms like I will do that. And if the idea is subordinate, then you can use passive forms like it will be done. Yes, it will be done for me. So that's something important. Also, you can put some important messages at the beginning. And if you have a question to a client, put it at the end of your email. And the last tip, being an active listener. It's like one more fact. What can be interesting actually, how is it connected to writing? And here, being active listener means that you can read properly, you can understand the client's request, you see what they meant. Actually, they will do the same. They will put the question at the end. So if there is some question, what you like, are not sure if you should do this or it's not for you, then just read the end of the email. Also try to, when we are talking about being active listener, if there is something what you are not very sure about, this is always a good way, just really to ask, you know, that works. It may sound very like simple, but sometimes, especially Ukrainians, we all the time like we will do everything. We are the best. Yeah, we can do, but it's better really to ask if you're not sure about something. Okay. Can we go next, guys? Or you have some questions here? Maybe you can put plus. Super. Okay, let's go to more practical hints. I have a question to you. Now I need your participation. Is spoken and written communication the same? And what is different about that? Super. So what's the difference between spoken and written communication? Why we should talk about them separately? You can use chat. Written is more, okay. Written should be more polite. Time for response. Max, super. I love the idea because the time of, when I get the task by email, all the time I say, thanks God, I have time to drink my coffee and then come back to the task. This is important because email makes you some distance. And that's a very good tool when you communicate with somebody from different time zone. That's important. Less stress, right, Anton, agree. Written communication is easier. Okay, what is easier about that, Valentina? What is... You can use a translator, right? But actually, okay, we will talk about this. It's easier. Right. Sometimes, it's easier to make this, I don't know, to build the rapport with your partner when you're communicating face to face. You can see them, you can use something, not only letters and words. Yeah, you can use your gestures, your mimics, smiling, and that's something what we do not have while communicating in writing. Grammarly, that's the best. In ChatGPT, one more tool to use. What about being formal? Does everybody feel that the written communication is about being formal? Margarita says, text communication is more difficult because without the right skills, you cannot control what meaning the client puts into your words. Actually, that's important. And, to deliver the sense, this is on your side. This is your responsibility. I hope after today's evening, you will know how to do that. There are a lot of people feeling uncomfortable speaking with someone, right? Okay. Actually, I agree with all the points. What you should keep in mind that this written communication is really distant. It's something what distance you emotionally from the client. The good point, what I noticed, this is about that building this emotional connection is harder. It also takes you time. You should keep being polite and formal, or semi-formal. That's okay. Okay. Actually, all the communication starts with some greetings. Today I started with "Hey guys," and there are many ways how you can greet a client. Here we have the most common, like greetings, hello, hey, dear, and hi. Guys, when we use greetings, is it formal or informal? What do you think about the greetings? Formal, okay, informal, both. Both is always the best option. Formal and informal, both. Yes, that's right. Informal, neither of them. Okay, informal. Actually, greetings, that's something what is used in formal communication. For example, when you're greetings from our company to yours, that's when you just start your communication with the client. Then also here in the slide, you see dia. When is it used? Is it the same formal or informal? Is it used in modern language or not? What do you think? What about dia? Formal? Any other suggestions? Both? Okay. Anything else? Super formal, maybe old-fashioned. Can you come up with some situation when you will use this dia? Dia without name is informal. In a cover letter, okay. Any other ideas? Okay, let's talk about dia. The first question, is it formal or informal? This is rather formal, yeah. The second question was, is it like used or it's outdated a bit? Yeah, and here we have like, that's actually okay, that's not outdated. This is very good to use when, for example, a customer put some feedback somewhere on, I don't know, like Apple Store or Play Market about the application. Yeah, and in that case, you can write like, dear customer, thank you for your feedback. This is okay. My foreign colleagues always use dear when writing letters to me. That's how Vasilina, if I'm like not mistaken with the name. Right, actually that's okay. When you communicate with somebody by first name basis, you can avoid this dear because it will sound too like formal. If your communication still remains like dear colleague, that's okay to use. Okay, and here we have some other options like hey and hi. What would be the difference between hey and hi when they are used? So what about hey is more informal? Mate. Is hi formal? What do you think? Because everybody wrote that hey is informal. Super. Actually, both of them are informal, more informal. Yes, rather informal. And there was Max. Yes, you're totally right. When you're chatting online, and Olena Rustuk in texting, right? When you're chatting, when that's not an email, you may use this hey in emails. If it's not a colleague or a friend, who are you using email with, then better to use hi. And what about hello? What is the meaning of that? More formal than what? Hello formal. More formal than hi. Okay. Then hey. I've spotted that we're starting to use less formal communication in formal situations. Right. Actually, today we can talk about, this, not about the formal and informal communication. In modern English business communication, I would say, we are talking in this semi-formal way. That's why maybe 5 years ago, it would be a bit unusual if you use hello to your client, but now that's okay. Hello is for all cases. I agree, Dmitro, right? And actually, this is the best way. When you are not sure what the style of communication of your colleagues or partners, then hello is a good start. And all the time when you know the name of the person, use the name. That's also important. Super. We can go next. Now, please take your time to read two parts of email and say which of them is better and why. Actually, the message of both is the same. So let's say I give you a minute to read, and then we can decide. The first variant is, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to follow up on the payment for the services I rendered. My records indicate that we haven't yet received the payment that was due on due date. And the second, I hope this email finds you well. This is a reminder that I haven't received your payment for the services I rendered. The first is better. First, more polite and clear. Okay. Actually, what's wrong about the last? the message is the same, just to ask for some payment. Is it a problem? Short, is it a problem? Or this is the way how you structure. Pushy. You know what is very interesting about emails, that we have some elements what are like necessary. We cannot avoid some of the elements, but when you are reading this email, you will not pay attention to all of them. You will just you will just read some idea. Yeah, you will read the body of your email. Okay, let's come back to these examples. I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to follow up on the payment for the service I rendered. So actually, I would agree that the first one is better, because when you're writing an email, you start with some opening, like, I hope this email finds you well, or I hope you're doing great, or I don't know, happy to come back to you, yes? And then you are writing the reason of your email. That should be clear, they should understand what is the purpose of that. And after that, you can move to the, like, some request maybe itself or something. So in this case, this one is better. The second one is a bit straightforward. It's like a bit pushy. Yeah, let's say. The next part, how to ask for something. And you know, when we are asking for something in our native language, maybe you'll experience the same. We say like, please do it for us. Please help me with the feature. Please, like, be, I don't know, like, be on time or something, yeah? In business communication, it's a good advice, like, it's good advice to make it a question, like, not to say what a person should do, but like ask and invite them into discussion or some, I don't know, some conversation, yeah? This is the first tip. The second, set a polite tone and choose the right grammar. Maybe you have some ideas what grammar can be used. Would you mind if? Okay, that's very polite and a bit formal. Any other ideas? What about the grammar? Maybe some structures. Could you? What about can? Like, can you? Rude. Can is rude. Can is more formal. Okay, we will talk about this. We already know. What about may? Like, may I ask you? May you help? May you blah blah blah? It's more about possibility. Like, you ask if it's possible to do something, so that's okay. We cannot, like, make somebody do something. Okay, let's look at what I have. Here we have, like, so may, this is a formal way to ask for something. Can, neutral. If you already, like, familiar with a person, you know them, yeah, in that way we use like can you help me? Can you please, I don't know, on your camera or something? And could, this is polite for both formal and informal situations. So you can use could if you're talking to a friend, or if you're talking to a client. That's good. And the last option what you provided me with was like, may I kindly ask you to? That's also about that context what I told today about, like if it's a customer, they left some feedback and you're asking for something. In that case, like when you want like somebody feel very respected in some day-to-day communication, you can be like less official, less formal. And I want you to make 2 examples when you're asking for help, be informal and informal. Let's put it to the chat. So examples when you ask for help. One example should be formal and another example should be informal. Kindly ask you, is it formal or informal, Svetlana? Okay, Annie, could you help me? I need your help. Formal, could you help me? Could you please help me? Better to put please at the end of the sentence, like could you help me, please? But that's not a mistake. Just something more common. Can you help me? Is there any word you can use instead of help? Assist, super. Assist. Actually, that's all my idea. The formal way, like, may I ask you to assist me? It doesn't mean that help is wrong word. Fill out any issues, right? And can I ask for help? This is more informal way. Okay, super. Thank you. Give someone a hand. Super. Wait, can you give me a hand? That's nice, very nice. And sometimes it happens that something is wrong with deadlines or something is wrong with I don't know, with everything. It's possible, and that's very important to apologize in the right way. And let's look at the task here. In the first column, you see this sorry phrases. Yeah, when there is an apology, and you need to match it with the alternative. I will do the first for you, just to show how it works. For example, sorry, I'm late. And the alternative can be like, I appreciate your patience. Yeah. I want you to do the same. I want you to write a letter, for example, B, and choose the right number from the right column. What is the alternative for that? You have 2 minutes. Okay, B5, B5, B5. Okay, what about C? I'm looking at you C1, and it's like the English level. Any other ideas? Okay, actually, all of you are right. Let's look at this. So B5, yeah, C1, D2, E4. As you could see, here we have this apologies like, sorry, I'm late. Sorry, I promise I'll do it better next time. Sorry to complain. sorry, blah, blah, blah. And we have these alternatives like, I appreciate your patience. Thank you for listening. Thanks for your feedback. What should we do with that? Like, why you should replace sorry to thanks? Really good examples. Yeah, you will get all these examples after the webinar. You will get the materials. So like one more, why you should like replace your sorry with thanks? Is there any sense in that? People like to be thanked. Yeah, I feel the same. Less negative. It's better to search, yes, for something positive. Sometimes that's difficult. Okay, so to switch the focus, yeah, from your mistakes to the patience. Actually, if you did something wrong, you can do nothing with that. Like, I mean, this situation already happened, so you should keep professional. You should keep this positive tone, because the emotions are important. That's something what drives a person. So that's important, and that's why this thanks will sound more human-like, and that's how you can show the respect. Yes, so that's let's try to practice this. Here we have 4 situations, and you need to come up with apologies to them. When you write this apology, please put the number before it. For example, first, thank you for pointing out. Yes. Second, I don't know, I appreciate, yeah, or something else. You can like do the first, send it, and then work with the second, number 3, and number 4. That's all okay. Okay, my bad. I will do it better next time. This is if it's your colleague or somebody who you have like long-term relationship with. Like, my bad, I will do it better next time. Okay. Any other examples, guys? Try if it's my team. Okay, yes, agree, Maria. Try to use maybe some words of appreciations where it's possible. What about maybe the second situation? Thank you for noticing. Okay, I will work on it to improve. What about the third situation? Failing to meet a deadline or deliverables? Let's say about the third situation that you're communicating with your manager, not with a client, but with a manager. Next time we'll be more successful. Hope so. One more good point about apologizing, to somebody, to a manager, client, or like just a person. That's not always necessary to explain what happens. Just you say thank you, and that you will work on that, so that's okay. But if it's, for example, the situation number 3, like failing to meet a deadline, you don't need to explain why you did it, but you should say what you're going to do. That's important. That will make a client happy, manager happy, and your deadlines met. Any other ideas how to apologize in the third situation? Marina, maybe, Valentina, Tatiana, Dasha. You know, there are 44 participants. It will take me whole evening to name you all. Okay. So you will get the phrases and you will practice them. Actually, you will get the presentation and you can like work on it. And as I promised at the beginning of our meeting, there is something what really should be avoided. That's something what may make you sound impolite or not businesslike. That's very casual. So here are some phrases and words. What should we avoid in business communication? Like, cannot, trust me, you need this, just, when you're given a feedback. But honestly, yeah, I think, and what's your budget? We'll talk about the last example, but let's start with this, for example, trust me and honestly. They're pretty like the same. Why should you avoid this? Like, trust me, I will fix it next time. Do you have any ideas? You can write them to the chat. Honestly, I will improve next time, yeah. You should give promises, or you shouldn't? You shouldn't give promises. Of course, better to give some, actions. You should explain why person should trust you, not just say, trust me. If you want to be trusted, it's better to give arguments for this, Valentina. You don't need to explain why the person should trust you, yeah? You should behave in that way that they want to trust you. Because when something happened, it's better to name the steps what you are going to take than just say that honestly, like that something happened, that sounds something very not confident, and that's better to be avoided. What about you need this? Like, you need to send me the file, or you need, I don't know, you need some extra time, or you need help me with that. Why we should avoid this need? Any ideas why we should avoid need? Too harsh and pushy. You aren't able to know the needs and wishes of other people, Marina says. Okay. Yeah, like an instruction. Okay, so what to do with this need? If it's impolite, if it's pushy, what to do with need? So how to be more polite if you want somebody to do something? Yeah, that's actually like, we can say, it will be better if, okay, a bit hypothetical. You should consider, I also would advise you not to overuse should. Actually, we should follow the piece of advice today. I told today, start with the question like, can we discuss, or can blah, blah, blah. I would recommend, may we try something out, yeah? So better to change your instruction line into some question. That's how you invite a person, how you make them want it. And that's, have you been thinking about, super, what about, that's about providing some alternatives. Good, 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 good. What about just? Here we have like, when given feedback, for example, you just need send us more information. We just, when you give feedback, like, you just need to work on blah, blah, blah point. Why it should be avoided? Not for business communication. It seems like unnecessary. Any other ideas, guys? Marina, super. You underestimate the action that follows just. Actually, right. It looks like that's not so difficult. Why don't you do this? Yeah, like just send me a record. Just help me with the task. But maybe for the person, it's not so easy. And this feedback sounds like, okay, I'm not so good. Because the person who gives feedback is, I don't know, much better in something. And let's talk about this. What's in your budget? Sorry, what's your budget? How to ask for some price. When you are a freelancer, that can like be common for you. When you're a manager. Rude and direct. Okay, any alternatives to this? What's your budget? How much are you willing to spend? Okay, here you like that's very this willing. This is really about the wish, yeah, and probably the person is not going to spend much, so you like set the context, please. Okay, for example, you're a freelancer. And before making some estimation, you can ask for the budget. Yeah, you should understand what to like. What I know budget is okay for your client. So in this case, you need to ask for the budget. Or what's your expectations? Budget expectations, super. Then also you can ask like what price or what budget do you keep in mind? Share the information related to the budget that can be sent. Okay, that's a bit formal. Like, could you please share the information related to the budget that can be sent? But that's okay. You know, like we shouldn't be very like afraid being direct, but just not to push him. But that's okay. So like, what's your budget expectation, or what price do you keep in mind? Even what you are willing to, I don't know, or how much you're willing to use, that's okay, but depends on what you want to hear back, yeah, from the client. How much will comfort payment for this work? Super. Okay. When you like when you are making some estimation, you can provide your numbers and then like ask like if it works for you. Is that something close to what you estimated, something like that? And here there are some phrases what should be the same, like avoided, and let's make them more business-like. For example, I don't know how to replace this word, this phrase, and to be more certain and confident. If you really don't know something. Check it out. Okay. Any need time to okay. You know what is interesting about this? Like need time to think about that. or let me check on that. When we are talking about some Eastern cultures, from their side, it can mean as like just no. They want to decline something. In that case, they can say like, I need some time to think, because they can feel like not very confident to say this no. So that's, but for Westerners, it's okay. Sorry, but I don't have this information. Of course. Yeah, yes, I don't have the answer for this right now. I will have an update for you by and time. That's actually about being this one. To be a worker and or employee who is trusted, yeah, when you set the deadline yourself. Okay, the next phrase that's not in our policy. That's out of my competence. Super. I love the example. I'd love to help with this, and then reason. Yeah, although I'd love to help with this, and then you name reasons why it doesn't work with you. Here we have word like. It's mainly used in speaking, like I am saying all the time. Like I know it. Like, and sometimes we can use it in the written form. So what to replace it with? This something like. Something would help us not to have the silence. For example, super. For instance, great. Great. Such as, for example, good, Elena. Then you are wrong. How to explain to someone that they are mistaken. Any ideas? Did you ever say this? Let me clarify that for you. You know, if somebody is wrong and you say, let me clarify that for you, that can be like perceived as a bit impolite, just because, you know, the person knows that this is their fault. Or don't share your point of view. That's a good idea. Maybe we can work on it together and come up with a solution. Super. We might have miscommunication. Wonderful. I love this. Let's have what I have. I see things differently, and here is why. All the time explain why. That's okay. Even if something is understandable for you, it doesn't mean that's like very obvious for the other party. And you need to do this right now. So when we talk about the urgency, how to deal with this? My opinion is different from you. Yeah, from yours. Sorry. Yeah, here we have this like. My opinion is different from yours. It's a high priority. It would be great if you can do it as soon as possible. Okay. Any other options? How to be sure that the person is ready to discuss it or is ready to do this? Any ideas? I would appreciate if you could start with the task right away. If you could start, Or, you know, in this phrase, like, I would appreciate if you could start with the task right away. Better to start like, I'm interested if you could. First priority, of course. And here my example, can we discuss the urgency of this task and when it can be completed? That's when you are not sure that the person is available, yeah, and you need to discuss this urgency. You want somebody, maybe not just to do something, but to send you some material, or there is we don't have some part of requirements, what is necessary for you or something. So then you can set up a meeting maybe, if it's possible. Good. Okay. Now we will have just practical tasks. You will see 2 dialogues and should decide which is better and what makes it good. So here we have a message from a client. I've been following up for a week now. Why is the bug taking so much time to fix? You can't. Why can't you fix it now? So this is the client message. And we have 2 scenarios. You have 2 minutes to read them, and then let's talk about the best one. The second is better, Oля says. Always explained, okay. The second sounds more confident, okay. What makes it more confident? What is the language? What is the... explain the reason, okay. Anton says that I don't like the sentence, we have our best people working on it. Okay, that's what you don't like about that. That's okay, because instead of these people, you can replace what is good about something, yeah, best people, or this is the most priority task what we are doing, or this is the best way, yes. That's we give deadlines in second, okay. That's good about that. Okay. Super. And now I want to be the worker, yeah, who is writing to a client, write me a message, yeah. This is a part. So read the client's message and write your response to it. Stay polite. Let's revise all what we talked about today. So when you want to ask for something, it's better to turn it into a question. Yes, that's important. If you want to be more neutral, then use hi, hello, and can as a grammar form. If you want to sound polite and a bit formal, you may use could and dear, yes. If you talk about the greetings, avoid this I don't know, or you are wrong. So try to avoid these messages. So these are the main rules, what you should keep in mind while writing a message to a client. Let's read the first situation. The first point of report A collides with the 5th point of B. Please check why is that the case. I'll be great if you could resolve it today. What would be your response to a client if it's the working day is already finished? You have 2 minutes for the first situation. Understand, I will do it, okay. But if you're not sure when you're going to finish it, because this I will do it, that sounds maybe a bit later when I have my coffee. Any other? I'm not sure. I'll do it today because of. And in this case, you need to specify when you are going to do this. That would sound a bit better. Okay, let me check it and I'll tell you if I could do it today. Super. If you want to reschedule this task for tomorrow, sure, we'll work with this task after we finish previous. I think we will resolve after 4 p.m. today. Super. If we will need some extra time, I'll tell you. Yeah, super. Dasha, just pay attention that we don't use will after if. If we need some extra time or if it takes us more, I'll let you know. Yes. Okay, super. I love the answers. What about the second situation? So I have shared the requirements analysis. Could you revert with a timeline for project fulfillment? What will be your answer to this? Any ideas? So actually in your answer, you should like come up with some estimated time for project fulfillment. I'll try to fulfill our schedule and finish on time. Okay. You know, when you use this I will this sounds it may sound as a promise. That's actually how is it used, or something you're not very confident about. I'll try to fulfill. So in this case, when you're like planning to do something, would try this hypothetical, yeah. I'm going to, yes, or we are to be, yeah. We are to do something, or we are about to do something, something. Yes, usually we need 5 further days for this. We will analyze your requirements and return to you with timeline. Okay, that's a good strategy to start with something what takes usually. In this way, the client will be like really informed, yes, and understand what to expect, what's going to happen. Super. Actually, I see that we are working more than 1 hour. Cool. I believe that we can, like, we have to, you know, wrap up because I want you to have the free evening. I'm very proud of you. I love your answer. Yeah, super. Okay, guys, I will switch to Ukrainian because I have some information for you to share. Супер, дякую вам, друзі. Я дуже рада, що ви всі були дуже активними. Я прям отримала величезне задоволення від цього. І як я вам уже сказала, ми сьогодні працювали з матеріалами нашого курсу, і я б хотіла почути ваші реакції, напевно, побачити. Ви можете відреагувати сердечком, якщо матеріали були корисними, або написати мені повідомлення, я зможу відповісти. Клас, багато сердечок, супер. Можливо, для вас щось нове, чи щось і якщо щось було новим, то що саме? Це цікаво. Супер. Клас, дякую вам. Сподобалося, що спочатку йдуть приклади, а потім вже завдання. Так, це важливо. Мені хотілося взагалі, щоб ви попрактикувалися більше. Мені здається, я трошки забагато інформації для вас принесла, але ви отримаєте всю інфу, ви отримаєте додаткові матеріали, ви зможете з цим попрацювати. Обов'язково після вебінару спробуйте використати це на роботі. Це прям працює. Інтерактивність, так, клас, супер. Я вам трохи розкажу про курс. Я думаю, що вам буде цікаво, тому що ці всі матеріали взяті з курсу, який ми проводимо в Solid, який включає в себе 8 тем. Це 8 різних бізнес-ситуацій, в яких ви так само можете практикувати, отримали фразу і відразу пішли на зустріч з нею. Цей курс триває 1 місяць, це живі заняття з викладачем в міні-групах. Тобто всього за місяць ви прям прокачаєтеся. Цей курс для рівнів B1, B2. Навіть якщо у вас вже класний інгліш, але у вас мало досвіду комунікації в бізнес-середовищі, то це, в принципі, курс для вас. Тому що ми ще тут покриваємо не тільки якусь мовну частину, але й крос-культурну комунікацію. Так, і що найголовніше, ми взагалі за практику і за якусь користь в кінці курсу всі учасники отримують 6 готових шаблонів для різних видів листів. Там можна використовувати як весь шаблон, наприклад, як спитати про фідбек або попросити щось зробити. Так, ви ще й ви можете використовувати якусь частинку для того, щоб правильно побудувати свою комунікацію. І як тільки ви будете після кожного уроку це використовувати в житті, у вас вже, в принципі, наша головна задача була зробити так, щоб після курсу ви це робили не тільки правильно, а ще й швидко. Цю презентацію можна буде побачити, ми все відправимо після вебінару, запис також буде. І основні теми курсу ви можете побачити на слайді. Це і як правильно попросити фідбек, і як надати фідбек, зробити запит, як сказати «ні». Там ми розбираємо, як сказати «ні» клієнту, як сказати «ні» колезі, як сказати «ні» менеджеру, чатуватися в Slack, в месенджерах, які ваша компанія юзає. І оця різниця між імейлом і чатом, основні абревіатури, що важливо. Також ми говоримо про крос-культурну взаємодію. І кінцевий урок – це граматична практика, я б це назвала не grammar lesson, а grammar session, де ми розбираємо всі основні граматичні типові помилки бізнес-комунікації і типові помилки саме учасників курсу, що важливо. Тому що, якщо англійська не росте, то і комунікація може бути не завжди 100% класною. Хоча я впевнена, що у вас не так багато проблем з бізнес-комунікацією. І зараз Оля, моя колега, вона зможе вам надіслати в чатик посилання. З вами зв'яжеться наш менеджер. Вона, по-перше, надійшла вам матеріали, сьогоднішню презентацію і всі додаткові матеріали, а також трохи більше розкаже про курс. І я думаю, що в нас є хвилин, 5-6. Я готова відповісти на ваші питання. Ви можете ставити їх як в опитувальник Q&A, так і в чатик. Хороше питання від Олени. У мене складність саме з комунікацією, бо респонденти всі мають різні акценти і шалену швидкість. Як з цим боротися? Підкажіть, будь ласка. Звичайно, я б хотіла вам, дати таку пігулочку, і ви такий клас, все, з'їла пігулочку і пішла. Але от моя така порада, по-перше, визначіться для себе, з яким акцентом вам найважче. Тобто це залежить від того, який у вас рівень. Якщо у вас немає можливості відвідувати практичні уроки, то тоді оберіть собі аудіо, зі спікером саме з тим акцентом, який для вас важкий, і слухайте одне аудіо, воно може бути довге, це може бути відео, або це може бути якесь там аудіо, 5 хвилин, окей. І слухайте це аудіо кожного дня. От кожного дня, доки вам кожне слово не стане зрозуміло, і тільки тоді ви можете закінчувати оцю практику і потім переходити до наступної. Це дуже вас прокатає, але для того, щоб у вас зникнув цей бар'єр, то вам потрібно виходити з своєї такої ракушки, іти до людей, спілкуватися там, де ви можете. Так, супер. Окей. Якщо у вас будуть питання, ви завжди зможете з нами зв'язатися. Я буду закінчувати. Дякую вам за увагу. Це був чудовий вечір. Ми також поділимося з вами посиланням на наш веб-сайт нашої школи, де ви можете подивитися, які інші продукти школи і ознайомитися, якщо вони вам допоможуть. Всім велике дякую, сердечка, клас, люблю сердечка.
Дуже дякую, що приєдналися до нас сьогодні. Особлива подяка Solid English School і особлива подяка Тані за їх час і за весь той корисний матеріал, який ви сьогодні нам розповіли. Сподіваємося, що цей воркшоп був для вас корисним та інформативним і сподіваємось побачити вас на інших наших вебінарах. Гарного всім вечора, гарного всім тижня і до зустрічей!